All right, it's a new era in New Orleans. Great moves by the Saints. Kellen Moore, kind of an interesting hire, the last guy to get hired, but what he has done up to this point in terms of the filling out of the coaching staff, the big moves he has made, I think it indicates a strong decision-making process behind the quarterback position, which is a great sign for the Saints going forward. We'll break down this latest news, but first, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, big moves in the Big Easy. Kellen Moore filling out his coaching staff and really sending a powerful message in terms of their strategy at the quarterback position. Let's pull up this report and we'll break down everything what it means on the other side. This is courtesy of SI.com. The New Orleans Saints on Thursday hired Eagles quarterbacks coach Doug Nussmeier to fill the offensive coordinator vacancy, according to multiple reports. Moore, recently installed as New Orleans' head coach, is expected to handle offensive play calling duties with Nussmeier serving as his top assistant. Nussmeier, 54, has coached in various collegiate and professional roles since 2001. He worked from the Dallas Cowboys from 2018 through 2022 before spending 2023 with the Los Angeles Chargers and last season with the Eagles alongside Moore, who was offensive coordinator. All right, Nussmeier, despite being older than Kellen Moore, has been a loyal lieutenant over the past half decade to Kellen Moore. Nussmeier has worked at the time with a lot of quality young quarterbacks. Prescott was younger when Nussmeier was working with him. Herbert, Jalen Hurts last season. Seems like maybe he's going to have effect on the strategy, whether the coaching or roster decision making. Spencer Rattler, anyone maybe? Involving in the New Orleans Saints. This is certainly an interesting move by New Orleans that has a lot of potential ramifications. Miles, I know you've got a few thoughts on this one, but first, Saints fans, in the comment section below. What do you want the Saints to do at the quarterback position now that Kellen Moore has this guy Nussmeier in the fold? Do you want them to stick with Carr? Do you want them to start Rattler and trade Carr? Do you want them to go after someone else, a free agency, or trade for a guy, draft a quarterback, whatever it may be? Give us your thoughts on the Saints quarterback position. Put it in the comment section below. Miles, what are your thoughts on Garrett Nussmeier? I'm sorry, Doug Nussmeier, Garrett Nussmeier's dad, becoming the next offensive top assistant for the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a great move for Kellen Moore, showing he knows exactly what he needs and he's making the right moves for this staff. Because when it comes to the offense, we all know Kellen Moore, he's got play calling, he's got the game plan, he's got all of that locked down. Now, whoever they decide to be the quarterback, whoever they have as offensive coordinator, when they come in here, Kellen Moore, to make the transition as easy as possible, he needs them to be immediately in complete lockstep with his plan. Kellen Moore is a head coach now. He's not an offensive coordinator. He's got a lot of responsibilities going on. He's got a lot of things he's got to deal with. So he needs his right-hand man to know exactly what he's doing. What better than a guy that's basically been by his side, like you said, for the better part of a decade so far. A guy that really knows the ins and outs and everything that Kellen Moore is going to do, and he knows the quarterback position really well. Kellen Moore trust him in the quarterback position as well. I think this is really good. I love what you say about Spencer Rattler. I think he's a young, exciting quarterback. I think, whoever they decide to go with there is going to be a very, very interesting option because I think Nussmeier, Moore, they're going to have everything in line and they need to get that quarterback in line with them as well. So great move by Kellen Moore to hire a guy who knows exactly what he wants, knows how to do it, and they've been together for the last 5, 6, 7 years. They've been doing really great stuff together, and I think that this is going to be a perfect match. This is the kind of offensive coordinator move you need. You don't need some flashy up-and-coming guy because that's your head coach. Kellen Moore, he's the flashy up-and-comer. You need a veteran guy who knows what to do. He knows how to be in lockstep behind Kellen Moore and execute the plans that he has. I think this is a really smart move by Kellen Moore, and I think this is going to pay off for the Saints really, really well this season.
Yeah, and just getting into the nitty gritty here, I think it just spells the end of Derek Carr's career. And I'm just kind of trying to read between the lines here. But if you look at Carr's contract, and according to overthecap.com, if the Saints designate Carr post June 1st release, they would incur a cap savings of 30 million bucks and only have dead money of 21 million. Only sounds like a lot, but 21 million bucks a dead cap really isn't too dramatic. And now that there are, of course, the reports, if anyone isn't aware, the salary cap has jumped again dramatically. So if you have a young quarterback on a cheap deal, especially an unproven quarterback, right? If you got a young guy and he's playing great, CJ Stroud for the Houston Texans, Brock Purdy for the 49ers are two good examples. Now is not the best time because they're going to want a lot of money with an expanded cap. you're going to have to give it to him. But if you've got an up and comer who's still trying to make a name for himself and hasn't proven he's a franchise guy like Spencer Rattler, you can surround him with so much talent. You can make so much moves because he is going to be so incredibly cheap in an expanded cap environment. That is such a boon for the Saints if they go this strategy, if they go this route, which again, I think they will. Because if you look at Nussmeier's career, and especially the last half decade or so working with Kellen Moore, it's been with mobile young quarterbacks, right? Which doesn't fit Derek Carr. Dak Prescott in 2020, 2018, when Nussmeier first came to the Cowboys, 2020 became the QB coach. Prescott, mobility, was a guy who was known for running in a lot of ways as much as throwing. Herbert, great runner. Jalen Hurts, great runner, right? This is what Nussmeier likes to work with, mobile quarterbacks, or at least has a lot of experience with them. Spencer Rattler fits that mold a whole lot more than Derek Carr does. Now, I don't know if they'll move off of Derek Carr. I'm trying to read between the lines here. I just think it makes sense when you look at the salary cap situation and when you look at the strategy bringing in. If they're going to run that kind of Philadelphia Eagles offense, that definitely screams Spencer Rattler. Doesn't necessarily scream Derek Carr at the quarterback position, which means it would be a new era with the Saints, right? And I think it's the right approach to make. It's time for a reset. It's time to see what you got in Rattler and focus on the future. I think that's what this move signified. But I do agree with everything you said too. Not a flashy hire, not a sexy offensive coordinator name, but a solid guy who knows ball, who has great experience dealing with the current Saints situation when it comes to Rattler. I think that's why they hired Nussmeier. Kellen Moore, if they were going with Derek Carr, I think they would have hired, more traditional, drop back kind of veteran quarterback coach, offensive coordinator to act as that kind of top assistant role. Sticking with this guy in Nussmeier that he worked with in Philly, Los Angeles, and Dallas makes me think they're moving off of Derek Carr and turning to Spencer Rattler or drafting a quarterback to be a more mobile guy as part of their offensive